Hi, I'm Terrell Turner, the host of the Business Talk Library, and today I have another great guest on. And the reason why I say this guest is great is because it's always good to be able to go back to, some of those fundamental realities about entrepreneurship, because I think a lot of people have misconceptions or, they may have excitement about it, but they don't really have understanding about the process. And when you don't understand, what's going to happen in this process of entrepreneurship, sometimes people either give up too early or they beat themselves up or they deem themselves unsuccessful. And it's just like, no, you're just going through the process. So I definitely want to welcome on our guest today, Jeremy Turner. And, we are not related, although we share the same last name, we're not related, but it is great to have another Turner on the show. So welcome to the show, Jeremy.
Hey, thanks, Terrell. I appreciate it. And you can never have too many Turners on the show.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Team
Now,
Turner.
Now, before we jump into Epic Mission and your adjunct professorship, can you tell us a little bit about your background before those things and what led you to Epic Mission?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. And I appreciate that question. So, like many people who may be listening, watching this show, I've had many twists and turns in my professional life. I've worked in large for-profit entities, international organizations, and I've done a lot of startup work on the for-profit, nonprofit side as well, and everything in between. And one of the things that I noticed along the way was that people had questions and they had fears and lots of help that was needed along the way. And what led me really into Epic Mission was wanting to solve some of the problems that I had along the way as I was working in these large corporations or small. And so Epic Mission was founded as a means of filling the gap that I noticed. So we seek to provide very practical guidance. We're not too interested in trying to sound like the smartest person in the room. We only care if the guidance we offer really impacts you in a positive way. So practical, holistic guidance that's based on things that we have actually seen and done and learned and experienced, not pure theory, right? So what we do is we meet what we call heroes of change. These are the entrepreneurs, nonprofits, and small businesses that are changing the world before us every single day by filling gaps in society or bringing jobs into the community or creating new products and services that solve problems. So I refer to those people as the heroes of change, and we meet them where they are. We don't judge them because, who needs more judgment? Let them know that they're not alone, and we seek to deliver a message of hope before we engage with them to provide coaching, consulting, training, support services that really fall into a couple of different categories of strategy, innovation, and capacity building. And again, it's all about providing practical guidance that actually works, not a theoretical exercise that makes me sound smart.
Mm-hmm. No, that's very interesting because I think that, one of the misconceptions that I hear talked about is for someone who's a professor in the college, in the college space or the collegiate space, oftentimes you hear, well, they're really good at the theory, but the practical stuff you really learn in the real world. Like, you seem to be a contradiction to that misconception.
Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. That's I seek to be a contradiction in many ways, and so my company and really my own worldview is based on a Gandhi quote: "Be the change you wish to see in the world." And so my dad is a retired college professor, and one of the things he was frustrated about so often was that many of the professors that he would work with or encounter, it was pure theory. And with something like entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship is a verb. You do entrepreneurship. You practice entrepreneurship. Just like you're a practicing attorney or a practicing physician, it's ongoing. And so I was an entrepreneur first and a consultant working with entrepreneurs and really seek to bring that into the classroom. There's plenty of theory, and I think that provides a really solid base of understanding. But knowledge isn't power until you begin to apply it. There's a quote that I really love that's, education is not the filling of a pail, it's the lighting of a fire. And so in my teaching, I seek to light fires under people or in people, so that they can take whatever's learned, and not just, of course, in my course, but in the world around them, so they can continue to learn and take that and go and apply it and go and be the change that they wish to see in the world, so that true impact is made.
Awesome. Now, because you are in the, the collegiate space, and you're seeing, these people at kind of like the, I guess you say the I guess you'd say what the fundamental stages of grasping business and entrepreneurship and just trying to navigate that journey. Like when you're interacting with, students and people in that space, do you get a sense that they have a clear understanding about what entrepreneurship is based on, what we see in the world? Or is there I guess you say, some reconfiguring of their, basic conception of it that has to happen first?
I love that question. Thank you for that. So we have many, many things out in our face every day that scream entrepreneurship, or at least maybe a version of it. We have shows like Shark Tank and The Profit, and these are great shows, and they can teach some valuable lessons. And we have TV personalities and various famous individuals that talk about their six-figure incomes and how they're going to make it rain and all these sorts of things. And I think that's really created a sort of an inaccurate perception of what entrepreneurship is. And so I think there has to be a recalibration of what actually is entrepreneurship. Does entrepreneurship have to be some big, sexy sizzle, the next Facebook or the next Twitter, the next whatever? Does it have to be there's no I can begin a family-owned business in my community and solve a problem that way through opening a mechanic shop? Is that entrepreneurship? So I think recalibrating what is entrepreneurship is really important. And I think something else that we do a really terrible job of in our society is we teach that failure is not an option.
Wow.
And that's paralyzing, right? Because we don't want to fail. Can't fail. Failure is not an option. Win at all cost. So we create this this misperception. We can't fail. And then there's the other side of it where we create these zero-sum games. So it's win at all cost. I only win if you lose. And I think that's really unhealthy. So what I believe we need to do is continue to demystify failure, teaching that and maybe reminding failure is not a person, it's an action, or it's a result. And that there's quite a lot to learn from that. We can't attach our own self-worth to whether we succeeded or failed in a given situation. We need to take those opportunities to continue to grow and learn and evolve, and to begin again more intelligently, as I think the other quote goes. And we need to teach that, we actually can win when others win, right? So getting past these zero-sum games that I think have been perpetuated unfairly.
Gotcha. Well, I can definitely tell the students that come through your classes definitely are, getting a very good foundation, because, those are just, I think, some of the very real things that, that you've probably seen with real entrepreneurship. So, I want to talk a little bit more about, with Epic Mission. I mean, what are the things that people can expect from Epic Missions in the future? What's kind of the goal, or where are you taking Epic Missions?
Yeah, so Epic Mission, we're seeking world domination. But seriously, we do seek to continue to grow and expand. We leverage a network of contractors from around the country, whether they're in Virginia or Nevada or Florida, up north. So we have reach all over the place. And, so we work with entrepreneurs and nonprofits and small businesses wherever they happen to be. And, we are a bit old fashioned at times in that we like to be face to face with people and experience life with them in that moment. But we know that that's also not realistic. And so we leverage technology nicely so that we can be where we need to be in order to really guide these heroes of change, as we say. So, we continue to just focus on what it is that we seek to do, which is to meet people where they are, let them know they're not alone, provide them a message of hope, and then get them moving towards where it is that they intend to go. And that sounds like maybe a simple statement, and I think sometimes it can be that simple. Sometimes I've found that, and I've done this myself. Consultants, we try to sound too smart and make the process too complicated so that we can justify our fees and justify our own existence. When I believe it was Einstein that said that the true mark of genius is simplifying the complex. And so if we can, at Epic Mission and elsewhere, if we can begin to take these very complex things, simplify them so that two people can have a really deep, rich conversation about a particular subject, then we can both experience growth and continue to move the needle forward and create that deep and lasting sustainable impact that I think that many of us really want.
Awesome. Awesome. So where can people find, you online, or where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, so we are fairly active on social media, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and our handle is at Your Epic Mission, because our focus is on you and your mission, and that allows us to do ours. And then our website is yourepicmission.com, and you can read some case studies, some of the things that we've done for other folks. You can learn a little bit about us and some of our core team members, and you can reach out to us that way as well.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, before we wrap up, one question that I like to ask every guest that comes on is, when you think about, where you've been in your past, and you think about the journey that you're on now and where things are headed with your Epic Mission, what's two pieces of advice that you would share with other entrepreneurs?
Yeah, these are pieces of advice that I have to take regularly as well. And so, I share these from my place as well. Remember why you started. Typically, I found that, whether you're a for-profit or nonprofit entity, of course, you're still a business, and there's a reason why you started. Maybe it was you're seeking independence, so that, like for me, I'm not a very good employee because I question everything. And so since I guess I can't fire myself now, I'm going to be okay. But so, remember why it is that you started. What is it that drove you to step away from the stability and perhaps predictability or comfort of a salaried position in another company? What problem did you notice that needed to be solved? And what is it that's driving you to get up and go at this every single day? Why are you grinding? Because entrepreneurship is not necessarily easy. So remember why you started. And during the times when things are difficult, reflect back on why it was that you started. Hopefully that'll help get you through the peaks and valleys of entrepreneurship. And the second piece of advice is, I think that curiosity is our great human superpower, and we set it aside too often. Stay curious. Stay curious about the world around you, not just focused on the particular facet of the world that you're operating in, your particular business, but continue to stay curious about the world around you. I believe that you'll find that, as you're learning about things that may seem unrelated to your business, you can oftentimes take those lessons, those learnings, and begin to apply them back to what it is that you are doing and help solve your own problems. And, staying curious in your learnings. Go back to school if you feel like you want to learn more. Go get a certification. Go to Coursera and take a free class. Go to YouTube and watch some educational videos. Join mastermind groups. Continue to pour into yourself and continue to grow yourself and learn more, so that you can continue to add additional value to those people that you say you're here to serve. So remember why you started and stay curious. Those are my two pieces of advice today.
Awesome. Well, Jeremy, thank you so much for coming on the Business Talk Library, and thank you for taking the time to share your story, to share your wisdom and your insight. So it has been a pleasure having you on. Thank you for stopping by, Jeremy.
The pleasure's been all mine, and I appreciate you, and hope that you have a terrific rest of your day.
Thank you for tuning in to the Business Talk Library. If you like our content, be sure to follow us on social media. And if you want to see more of our exclusive content, you can subscribe and become a member on patreon.com/Business Talk Library. Hey, the Business Talk Library is the place where business makes sense.